This is ESPN on ABC, brought to you in part by Samsung QLED TV, the official TV of ESPN College Football.
We're on the 40 acres in Austin, where there's still hope for a Longhorns championship run. This is college football on ESPN, presented by PlayStation 5. As you're watching the Big 12 on ESPN, the West Virginia Mountaineers, the Texas Longhorns, both coming off impressive wins over ranked teams. Now they meet up here today in a critical game in the race for a berth in the Big 12 championship. Let's get you up to speed on this well-balanced conference. The teams with one loss. It was West Virginia who toppled K-State. It was Texas who got past the then number 6 Pokes. The 2-loss teams may have the most impressive rosters, the young and talented Sooners and these 2 hungry hopefuls. And look at what the playoff predictor says about the chances to win the Big 12. Oklahoma and Texas neck and neck with the best percentage to claim the crown. As we say good afternoon, everybody, Joe Tessitore alongside Greg McElroy. Always a thrill to be high atop DKR Texas Memorial Stadium. Had a good visit with Tom Herman, the head coach of Texas, yesterday. He said this is a big game because we made it a big game. They sure did with Sam Ehlinger in the overtime touchdown last week.
You mentioned the Big 12 championship hopes. The only reason they exist is because of Sam Ehlinger. And he has been the steady force for this Texas Longhorn team for as long as I can remember. He's been their leader. He's been their rock. And I think he's shown an improved sense of accuracy and a good feel for the new offensive identity that they're trying to create here on the 40 acres. I've been very impressed with the way he's guided this team through some difficult moments, had a breakthrough last week against Oklahoma State, and now with a great matchup today against the best defense in the Big 12.
Yeah, Sam and the Horns, they have to deal with that West Virginia defense, also a team that can run the ball. West Virginia coming off a good win themselves. We got Hook'em and Mountaineers. We got kickoff next from Austin, Texas. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
You know, you think of all the years of games here with the Grand Stadium having 100,000 plus in Burnt Orange. Today, 19,000 the maximum allowed with COVID restrictions. 10th all-time meeting, West Virginia leads the series 5-4. Interestingly, the road team has won the last 4 meetings between these two. West Virginia won the toss. They elect to defer. Texas will be receiving, and that means Deshaun Jameson back to receive the Casey leg kick. Jameson, who had a 100-yard kickoff return last week against Oklahoma State. As we get a good day of college football started here in Austin. Fresh off of covering number 1 ranked Texas volleyball defeating number 3 Baylor last night, the incomparable Holly Rowe.
Hey guys, well, when West Virginia's defense takes the field today, we'll see them early. They are one of the best in the Big 12 in total defense, in touchdowns. They are so improved this year, and it's partially because they're improved. The Stills brothers on the front of that defensive line, number 55, 56, 2 brothers who grew up 20 miles away from West Virginia. They said, we used to look at West Virginia players and think they were gods. Now it's us. When I say they're invested, they have a mantra: meet me at the quarterback or beat me to the quarterback. They love West Virginia.
Of course, that quarterback is Sam Ehlinger, who gives way to Robinson. And look at the freshman. Bijan Robinson opens up this game with a chunk play for the Longhorns. Finally tracked down by Tyke Smith. Great start for the Horns.
Just a beautiful job, counter action in the backfield, and Texas is out the gate, taking advantage of that athleticism that West Virginia has on the defensive side by looking like the run was going to the left, breaking it back to the right, and a great start for the Longhorns.
54-yard run for Robinson, and now out of the backfield, a dynamic freshman from Tucson, Arizona. He is getting more and more comfortable. Keontae Ingram, the starting running back, is out injured. He suffered a high ankle sprain. He's the veteran with all the experience, but Robinson has all the upside.
Yeah, he is big time. I mean, they still have capable runners, obviously, in the backfield, including Ehlinger, who's very willing and a guy that can really pound you between the tackles as a quarterback runner.
2nd and 7. Ellinger looks left to the end zone and off the hands of Jake Smith. Jake Smith last week had 7 catches, 70 yards, a fourth quarter touchdown against Oklahoma State.
Sam Ellinger, you look at the size, 6'3", 225, and obviously the touchdowns, but even more so than the stats, the timely plays and gotta have it situations he delivered against Oklahoma State. Even in a losing effort, he did so against Oklahoma. He's the reason why the Big 12 championship is still very much within reach for this Longhorn team.
3rd down and 7 now for the 2-time captain, the veteran quarterback, as he's going to have a first down to the big-bodied Brennan Eagles, 6'4", 229-pounder from Houston.
And Eagles in this wide receiver group is going to have to continue to improve in this new passing attack.
Here's Johnson straight ahead as he drags a defender, Chandler Samito, inside the 5-yard line.
You see this tempo from Texas. New offensive coordinator Mike Siersich, this is what he does.
2nd and goal. Ellinger stacked up and tackled for a loss. Josh Chandler Samito, the junior from Canton McKinley in Ohio.
And you'll see them mix tempo throughout the game. Ramp it up, ramp it down, depending on whether or not the defense is on their heels. I think, like I said, the offensive coordinator, Mike Siersich, does a really good job of feeling if the defense is struggling. That time the defense says no sir and hits Ellinger in the backfield on the quarterback sweep.
3rd and goal now. Smith motions to the top of your screen. So Sam Ellinger, veteran, studies the film, looking over that defense, making his calls. 3rd down and goal. Crossing route over the middle and into the end zone. Eagles. Very strong opening drive for the Horns. A 7-yard touchdown reception for Brennan Eagles. And Sam Ellinger, the 21st passing touchdown of his season. It was the freshman Bijan Robinson who put them in position. First play of the game there, he is the 54-yard run to set the tone early. Cameron Dickens just gets it through. That leaked to the left a little bit on that extra point by Dicker.
This is just a beautiful job of execution, creating a mesh concept. So you're going to see the shallow cross concept coming right there. And you're going to see what we would call, if you're a defensive player, a pick. But if you watch on the left side, the tight end there, Jared Wiley, creating a little bit of contact between the two defenders, which allowed Eagles to get free underneath. They'd run this play over and over and over again. You talk to the offensive coordinator, Mike Siersich, he tells you, right now, Sam Ellinger's so good at reading the middle of the field. So they get those crossing routes, and it gives you answers against both man, like we saw right there, and against zone, because the guys have freedom to shut it down. So great execution against man coverage there from Texas, and they score quickly against the Big 12's best defense.
I'll tell you right now, Greg, Bijan Robinson is going to have himself a heck of a career here in Austin, isn't he? True freshman running back starts the day with a 54-yard run. And now Jarrett Dagey comes out, quarterback for West Virginia. He has thrown for over 300 yards in 3 straight games.
And it's so funny. You look at him, watch him, you're like, God, it reminds me so much of a Texas Tech quarterback from back in the Mike Leach era. And of course, his brother played at Texas Tech, but he's from Lubbock, and you can tell with the way he layers the football, the way he can drop it in the bucket from anywhere. He has such a good feel for the position and has really grown to become a real leader for this run-first attack that loves to use play action.
Coming around this time is Bryce Ford Whedon with the carry. He's the big-bodied receiver. Got off to a good start last week in that upset of K-State. Had a 58-yard catch in that first quarter.
And he looks the part. This is a pretty good group of wide receivers, extremely well coached in their fundamentals.
Here's Dagey on 2nd and 6. Ford Wheaton again on the receiver screen as he lowers the shoulders, drives ahead for a first down. Neil Brown, the head coach at West Virginia, is in his 2nd year. We had a great exchange with him the other day. We said, Neil, what are you looking for? He said the big message has been consistency and earning national respect. This would be a day when you can do that.
No question. Going on the road, playing against a Texas team ranked in the top 25, this would be a huge win for West Virginia.
We will see plenty of Letty Brown, but typically not that way, as it is Chris Adamora with the tackle for loss against Letty Brown, who is number 8 nationally in rushing yards per game at 115.7.
And it's no secret for this Texas defense, Joe, is that their all-points bulletin has to be on Letty Brown. He's the guy that really gets this offense going. They do a really good job with their perimeter run game, and they're going to need to tackle Letty Brown because he does such a great job of avoiding initial contact.
Dagey looking over at Jared Parker. Play calling split between Parker and Neil Brown. Quick throw to the outside as he's able to get it complete to Sean Ryan, who's going to be a yard short of that line to gain. Sean Ryan from Brooklyn, New York. He played at Erasmus Hall High School.
Those are the throws right there that we're going to see from Dagey. Anticipation throws. He doesn't have a huge arm, but he throws it to a spot, and he trusts his receivers to get there. Right there on the speed out. Beautiful execution to make it 3rd and short.
3rd and 1. A lot of window dressing here as O'Loughlin, the tight end, goes to a split formation. See if he can lead the way for Letty Brown, who will have the first down for West Virginia. So they needed a yard, they got a yard.
So far, we've seen West Virginia work that run game to the inside, and you'd think here they're going to try to get Letty Brown on the perimeter. That's where he does most of his damage. He's got a lot of speed. He's really good when working against secondary defenders because he's big and strong and physical. So expect them, as they continue to work the inside, to mix in some of those outside runs as well.
Brown probing that left side, not finding much. Adamora again with the tackle. He was very active last week in that big win. He had 7 solo tackles then for Tom Herman's squad. 4th year at Texas for Tom Herman. Last year 8-5, did win the Alamo Bowl. Said, I know we dug ourselves in a hole early season, but we have cleared the path to get out of that hole.
One thing that they haven't done, though, is handle success very well. That's why today is a remarkably good challenge. Great moment last week against Oklahoma State. Can you put 2 in a row together against good teams?
Dagey. Oh, nearly picked off. That was Alfred Collins, who had the ball right on his hands. The 6'5", 305-pound true freshman.
Oh, my goodness, Alfred Collins. It's great recognition for the young fella, reading out that screen, drifting underneath. They got to make that play.
3rd down and 10. Collins almost had himself a big one there. Dagey on 3rd and 10. He's going to launch it downfield. Waiting for it downfield was Winston Wright, the sophomore from Savannah, Georgia. Big play for West Virginia.
Wonderful catch, high pointing it there by Winston, kind of timing his jump and reeling it in while shielding off the defender. And the route by Wright was just a thing of beauty as a Longhorn is down.
39-yard reception for Winston Wright on 3rd and 10. And a 15-yard touchdown last week against Kent State. That put them up against K-State, put them up 24-3 in that game.
And watch how he attacks the leverage, and then he gives himself a little extra room to the outside. I mean, this is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, you attack the leverage, you get Caden Stearns, who's in coverage, thinking maybe you cross the middle of the field, maybe you break it out. I mean, you have kind of a 3-way go there. Winston Wright, and if you look at these wide receivers, I'm telling you, talk to Jared Parker, their offensive coordinator. He's in charge of the wide receiver room. They are so well coached and so friendly to the quarterback. So obviously, Jarrett Dagey can trust them to get to where they need to go. It's just really fun to watch how efficient this passing game is.
Delay, Brown, straight ahead, kept his balance and scores. Letty Brown, 9th rushing touchdown of the season. And what a strong start here in Austin for both offenses. Came in number 5 nationally in total touchdowns. That's now his 11th touchdown overall. Talked about this game being so critical in that chase to get to the Big 12 championship. Both teams playing hungry. Letty Brown takes it in for the Mountaineers. 7-7 game here.
West Virginia's Letty Brown already making an impact. His 5th straight game with a rushing touchdown. Jarrett Dagey, the quarterback, said it all starts with his work ethic. He's the best practice player we have. He's gifted, he's stable, he absorbs hit, but he does it every day in practice. That's why it looks so easy come to the game.
And you know, Greg, that's exactly what Jared Parker said to us the other day. He said the guy's practice habits, they've just gotten so much better.
Well, I mean, you practice how you play. I mean, it's amazing. The best practice player I ever saw with my own 2 eyes was in New York with the Jets. Darrelle Revis was the best I've ever seen, and he's one of the best to ever do it, his craft, man. The way you practice it, it translates to the game.
12-yard touchdown run moments ago. Here's the dangerous Deshaun Jameson. Good job, though, on the coverage unit by West Virginia. Tonight, Pac-12 season finally gets underway, and it's a good one. Stanford against number 12 Oregon at Autzen Stadium. You know, that rivalry goes all the way back to 1900. That's 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. Oregon bringing back 7 starters on defense. They were number 9 in the country last year in scoring defense, giving up fewer than 17 points per game.
Joe Moorhead, the new offensive coordinator, who's the quarterback, going to be a lot of intrigue and storylines around those 2 teams.
Back to the ground with Robinson, who spins and then tries to bounce it. A stiff arm, another one as he rides it, keeps his balance. They're going to say he stepped out, but I'm telling you, watch out for Mr. Robinson. This kid is going to be special and is already flashing. A flag is down. But man, oh man, does he show you something.
I mean, my goodness, Mr. Robinson. Who do you think you are, Ricky Williams? I mean, what was that? That was amazing.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 4. 15 yards will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And to be that big and to spin so effortlessly. Look at this. Whoop! No problem whatsoever. And then the lateral agility and the stiff arm.
Can we just talk about what he did to Alonzo Adai? Look at this stiff arm. And then Nick Troy Fortune got a little as well. And now Johnson with a spin. Roschon Johnson. You think about stiff arms in this stadium. You think about stiff arms in a guy wearing the burnt orange. Takes you back to 1977, right? The Tyler Rose, the guy who led the nation, won the Heisman. Earl Campbell, one of the all-time greats, but they got a good young one here. Ellinger goes ahead for about 1.5 yards.
And we all know he was very highly recruited, but my goodness. I mean, talk about starting the game with a bang.
3rd down and 4 now for Ellinger, as Roschon Johnson is the running back, as Robinson gets a breather. Open the game with a 54-yard run on the first play. Just a 3rd 50-plus yard run in Tom Herman's time here. 3rd down and 4. Here's Ellinger. Quick strike, incomplete. And no flag down as Smith had the coverage defensively for West Virginia. So the West Virginia defense does their job. They have been so strong this year, statistically only allowing 255 yards per game, 4th best in the FBS.
There's a lot of contact on that slant. I thought that right hand there for Smith might have wrapped right around the receiver. Fortunate not to have a flag thrown there.
Buchevsky, nose down punt, reverse rotation, looking for the pin, and tremendous special teams coverage that time. I think that was Avante Woodard, the backup receiver playing special teams, who just pins the ball inside the 5. Excellent work by Buchevsky and Woodard.
How about it? Drop it in the bucket, young fella. And Woodard heads up, too. Keeps the ball out of the end zone. And West Virginia backed up.
May have been Thompson. We'll check on him.
College football on ABC is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits. And in part by USAA. This Veterans Day, join us in thanking those who serve.
Great time of year to salute our nation's veterans. Courageous soldiers from around the globe proudly showing off their school pride. Hey, look at this play. It was, by the way, Josh Thompson. They got 2 number 9s who are both athletic and good receivers, but it was Thompson who was the gunner who made that incredible play to pin West Virginia on the 3. You see Ryan Buchevsky, the punter who put them in this hole. So now Letty Brown trying to get some space. By the way, Buchevsky, Holly, has a connection to the big time.
Well, I should say he actually is from Crow Creek, Australia, as many punters are in college football these days. But his cousin, Michael Dixon, was a Longhorn here, so he moved to the U.S., actually went here to Lake Travis High School to be closer to Michael Dixon, and he is doing such a great job. He is a weapon for these Longhorns. You see them backed up on the end zone. We can credit Longhorn Michael Dixon for some of that lineage.
Yeah, nice to have a Pro Bowler in the family. 2nd and 7, Daggy from the end zone, and it falls harmlessly, but it went through the hands of Mike O'Laughlin. Let's check in the studio and Kevin. All right, thank you, Kevin. When that North Carolina offense is in gear, they are something. 3rd down and 7. Big opportunity here for the Texas defense. West Virginia, they go with the touch pass to Simmons, and Simmons will be taken down at the 9-yard line by Caden Stearns. So the punt that pins at the 3-yard line, and then the Texas defense doing their job will give the Horns good field position.
Yeah, it's a great job of just playing leverage there by Caden Stearns, and also his nickel that was right in front of him, Chris Adamora. That was really beautifully done. Adamora shot inside, forcing it to go to the outside where Stearns was waiting. Just excellent job of playing good, sound leverage football and making sure you're really good when attacking the angles of the jet sweep right there.
And now Sumter punting from halfway into his end zone, and Jamison is such a dangerous return man. Here's Tyler Sumter's punt. Here's Jamison, good coverage downfield. So Texas will have great field position as Bevo 15 looks on here at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium, all tied up. 7-7 game here. Texas got started with the true freshman Robinson, the 54-yard run.
And he is so impressive for that size. Really nicely done. I like this 3rd down throw, too, to Eagles. Big body on the curl, then you find him again on the shallow cross. West Virginia not to be outdone. 3rd down. Daggy finds right down the field, and then Letty Brown a couple plays later bouncing off the would-be tackle and taking it in for his own touchdown.
And now Robinson able to get it to the 45-yard line. Remember the great special teams play as the punt went inside the 5, and Josh Thompson, the starting corner for Texas, was able to pin it there and secure it and give Texas this phenomenal field position. Here's Eagles. That was thrown ahead of him. Incomplete as they tried to go with the quick game to Brennan Eagles. There is Thompson. Set him up at the 3-yard line, and then the Texas defense did their job. And now the Texas offense is hoping to do something with the great field position, but they got to convert this 3rd and 7. Four-man rush against Ellinger, and breaking through against him was Stills as he muscles the ball to the near side, this time to Schooler. We'll see where they mark this. And it is indeed 4th down. A yard short. As Robinson struggling to get close to that line to gain. That was 4th and 1 when they handed off to Robinson.
It's really close. I'm not sure he got there, Joe. It's a huge hit from Fields.
Fields and Tonkery getting involved. Watch 1 and 10. Remember, the yellow line's unofficial. Also saw low, X-ray low, getting low against Robinson.
It's really close. Man,
you surprised they went tempo there, Greg?
Very, and they've done that a couple times where they've gone tempo. I understand, hey, look, you're trying to catch them, trying to gash one up inside, but it's too critical a down and distance to just play with such incredible intensity.
They are short. They are inches short. It is a turnover on downs by that stout West Virginia defense with Jamal Adai and Jordan Leslie, the co-defensive coordinators who have been sensational. This is right down the line. And Tony Fields surging in. And then the rest of the crew with Tonkery and Lowe. Excellent stonewalling by the Mountaineers.
Just awesome job by Tony Fields, the senior. Understanding the down and distance, being super aggressive at the line of scrimmage and meeting Robinson right there to bring him short.
Daggy out of the backfield. Sinkfield lost his momentum just trying to make the catch. He's right at the line of scrimmage. Adamoro was there defensively.
There's a good opening drive from West Virginia, involving their playmakers, getting a couple of guys started in the game. They, of course, got Letty Brown a few touches. They involved Winston Wright on the downfield throw. Ford Wheaton got the jet sweep. I've got to get some of these other offensive weapons involved, including Sinkfield.
Here is Sinkfield, clogged up in the backfield and taken down by Jawan Mitchell. He's second on the team in tackles. Remember, he had that big game in the Red River rivalry. He had 10 tackles and a fumble recovery against Oklahoma.
And there have been moments where you've seen this Texas defense starting to show signs of progress. Remember, new defensive coordinator in Chris Ash coming in, changing their identity. Now a 4-down front. You see these guys starting to really get a little bit more comfortable, including Joseph Osai, who's at the top of the screen, one of the best pass rushers in the entire Big 12. He'll be working one-on-one.
Timeout is going to be used here.
Timeout, Texas. Their first charge of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout. 30 seconds in length.
Let's go down to the field to Holly.
Well, guys, after Texas lost in 4 overtimes against Oklahoma, 2 of the team leaders, Sam Ellinger and Joseph Osai, were on the phone together late at night. They talked about how painful that loss was, how they each individually felt like they didn't make the plays, could have played better, and they don't ever want to feel that way again. Joseph Osai said to Sam, you know, I vow the next time I'm in a moment to play that way and make a play for my team when it matters, we have to be those guys. They vowed to each other that they would be those guys, and last week in a crucial moment, they were. Sam Ellinger with a 4th and 7 throw, Joseph Osai with the sack to save the game in overtime. That started on a late-night phone call after an overtime loss, and those 2 kids lived up to their vow to each other and their team.
Let's see if he can deliver right here, Holly. 3rd down and 10.
There's Osai at the top of your screen working in one-on-one.
Sinkfield now in the backfield with Daggy. Here's Jarrett Daggy. They go with the inside screen, and weaving his way towards that line to gain was Isaiah Estale. Good job by Estale with the yards after the catch.
I like the play call there, too. Hey, if Osai's a problem, we know we can't block him. Let's throw a screen right behind him. You know he's going to breathe fire off the right. There he comes, slips inside. Boom. Made you look, Joseph Osai. Throw the little tunnel screen right around him, and then you get a guy in space. That's a good understanding of the opposing team's personnel And a great call by Neil Brown there. Pick up the first down.
10 yards on 3rd and 10 by Esdale. Sinkfield on the delay handoff as he will bring it close to midfield. Alex Sinkfield, who shares that backfield with Letty Brown. He's more the shaker and slasher type. That is not good for Texas. Keandre Coburn, their starting nose tackle, who's really a relentless physical guy, is down, and the medical staff is out to see him.
That's a big loss potentially. He is that anchor in the middle of the defense. He's the reason why Joseph Osai and Moro Ajomo, they can come after the passer because they have that presence that's eating blocks in the middle. So hopefully he'll be okay for Texas. He's a big piece of what they do in the front seven.
Let's talk about what happened last week against then number 6 Oklahoma State. This was the game that Texas had to have. The game that Tom Herman said, listen, today's a big game because we made it a big game with what we did against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it was really a back and forth game. Texas found themselves on the ropes yet again. And then in overtime, man, it was just awesome. The throw by Ellinger to give him a 7-point lead, and then on 4th down, Osai making his promise a couple weeks earlier, promises kept. Just showing relentless effort at that point of the game, having to play that many snaps and to be able to absolutely strain your gut at that point of the game. The guy just gives relentless effort, and it was just amazing to watch him take over that game late. 6 tackle for loss and 3 sacks. Just ridiculous.
Those aren't season numbers. Yeah. Let's just pause here. That was the game against Oklahoma State.
For some guys, that's a career. You know,
Yes.
But for him, that's just another day at the office. And as you see, the guy that last had a similar stat line, Texas fans know all too well just how disruptive and dominant Ndamukong Suh was back in that 2009 season.
So Coburn limps off the field. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for West Virginia. Dagey and Esdale just converted that 3rd and 10. And then Sinkfield only got a yard on that last carry, and that's when big Keandre went down. Sinkfield remains the back next to Dagey as he motions out. Dagey, that was denied by Overshone, the will linebacker for the Horns. TJ Banks was the intended target.
That's twice now where we've seen really tight coverage and some contact from defenders. As you see Overshone, looks like that right arm was a little tight, but I like it. Let him play. It's good defense being played in this game, especially in the secondary on some of those in-breaking routes.
3rd down and 9. Went with the tunnel screen last time for the play call that converted 3rd and long. What does Dagey have this time? Gonna run the ball, and Osai with a tackle for loss. Add to it. 13 and a half now on the year. TFLs for Osai.
Well, this is just a bust right here by West Virginia's offensive line, because if there's one guy you want to account for, it's Joseph Osai, and that's right there. It's not exactly accounting for their best defensive player. Completely unblocked, making the play in the backfield. The bust up front led to the great play by Osai.
Colton McGee now on to punt. Jamison from the 11, and he's driven back inside the 10. Another good coverage unit moment for West Virginia. Sunday NFL Countdown coming your way. DK Metcalf, the breakout wide receiver for the Seahawks. You will have all access to him. Plus, Patrick Mahomes is wired for sound. Kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Sam Ehlinger trots back out there. Greg, he had that touchdown pass earlier today, the 89th of his career. He's now in the top 10 all-time in the Big 12. He just passed Sam Bradford on that list. Johnson, not much there. So Sam Ehlinger, 89 touchdown passes. Sam Bradford had 88 when he played for Oklahoma. from 07 to 09.
Yeah, and Sam Ehlinger, man, has been the heartbeat of this program the last few years? Is it obviously had to go through some ups and downs, but it's been steady, man.
Ehlinger able to get that well-timed to Smith. Jake Smith secures the catch.
You always wonder, all right, who is Sam Ehlinger? He's Tim Tebow. The difference between Sam Ehlinger and Tim Tebow, though, is Tim was surrounded by absolute superstars. And
Johnson brings it to the 30.
And with all due respect to what Sam's been surrounded by, it's been a little less talented supporting cast. But man, I'm telling you, he just wills his way to win. He's an incredible competitor. There's a flag on the field. But Ehlinger has been such a joy to watch these last few years in Austin.
During the play, personal foul, targeting, defense, number 29. The previous play is under further review.
Sean Mahone targeting. We'll take a peek here.
And because it is against a runner in this particular case, he has to be leading with the crown of his helmet. If you look at Mahone right there, there it is. As you can see, number 29.
Yeah.
They're leading with the crown of the helmet and initiating contact to the head or neck area with the crown, which is an indicator and should be targeting. It's a good call on the field.
Our rules expert, John Perry. What do you see, John?
Great job mechanically to pick this up. This has been a problem, both in the collegiate game and the NFL, to see that lower, lead, and initiate contact with the helmet.
And you know the other thing, too, and John, I'll be curious to get your take on this, man. The runner also lowers their head there. And look, the defender is the one that's going to get called for targeting here, and rightfully so. He dropped his helmet. But at some point, when does this rule evolve to maybe include offensive players as well who shouldn't lower the head and initiate the crown of the helmet contact themselves?
Well, keep in mind it's all 22 all day long. In this case, the runner has lowered.
After reviewing the play, there is no foul for targeting. It'll be 3rd down and 2 at the 31-yard line.
Wow, I'm shocked
You know, and
by
this leads to one of the things that I have seen Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays is the inconsistency. I still believe that this defender is initiating after lowering and leading. I like it as targeting.
I thought it was targeting for sure. I thought we were just making it, the review process right there was a formality because it felt like the contact was certainly initiated with the crown of the helmet.
Right, and that goes right back to the question that you had asked earlier. There is a big difference between bracing. Generally, we'll see a shoulder turn with a brace rather than the initiating and leading.
That's great stuff, John. John Perry, our rules expert on this crew. 8 years overall as a Division I official. 5 years in the Big Ten before he went on to be a 3-time Super Bowl official. So Mahone stays in. Robinson, the running back. Ehlinger is going to run it himself, and he is so effective doing that. 5 games of 400 yards of total offense in his career. Is tied for the most in school history. He can do it on the ground. He can do it with the arm.
And this offense has really kind of turned into more of a perimeter run offense under new offensive coordinator Mike Yurcich. But they still have that element, the quarterback power off of the look to the outside, and Ehlinger does a great job getting downhill.
And now play action for Sam. Plenty of time to wind it up downfield, looking for Eagles. A lot of contact, and a flag is down at the 19-yard line as Miller had coverage on Brennan Eagles.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic, 1st down.
There's a deep ball there, but you can clearly see the contact as the ball's thrown a little behind Eagles, and that contact starts all the way through as Miller's called. That was the correct call by the official, and a good job of trying to take a shot by the Texas offense.
Quick strike, threw it too far to the outside, looking for Brendan Schooler.
This is a part of their offense that's still kind of a work in progress, is those throws to the outside, those throws outside the numbers. Ellinger not quite as comfortable executing those throws, really better working the middle of the field where they've prioritized their passing game and have done so with a lot of success this year.
Second and 10, Tonkery comes. Ellinger over the middle, and that is a great effort. A flag is down, but Tariq Black, the senior transfer from Michigan, who's originally from Hamden, Connecticut, made a good effort on that ball.
Amazing catch. Great strength fighting through contact and what looked like a jersey pull.
Pass interference, defense, number 1. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
That is an incredible catch with a guy pulling on your jersey.
I mean, it just shows you how strong Tariq Black is. As you see that left hand there.
You remember last week the circus catch we had with C.J. Lewis in that BC Clemson game?
Absolutely.
C.J. Lewis was his high school quarterback.
Oh,
now
man.
they're both starring as college wide receivers. Ellinger, as he darts out of bounds close to the 15-yard line.
It's nice to see these receivers for Texas start to come alive. I mean, this is a really talented group. I mean, Brendan Eagles has the size. Tariq Black was a very highly regarded prospect when he signed at Michigan. Joshua Moore is a guy I'm very excited about. Great speed, unbelievable explosiveness and leaping ability. Then Jake Smith, who's so reliable and a great route runner there in the slot. This is a really well-rounded group that has yet to hit their potential this year.
Final seconds here of the first quarter. A 2nd and 2 for Ellinger. To the end zone as it's just past Jake Smith. It's 3rd and 2 with 2 seconds to go in this first quarter. We talked about the defensive improvement of West Virginia. They were 10th in FBS and rush defense and yards allowed per game. Today they've already given up more than what they give up on average in a game. 3rd and 2, final play of the first quarter. Ellinger, plenty of time. Gonna tuck and try to run it himself, and he loses yardage. Tony Fields stayed with him. And that is how will we stay on the scoreboard. 7-7 at the end of 1 here at DKR, Texas Memorial Stadium, between the Mountaineers and the Horns. Beautiful day here in Austin, Greg, isn't it? 7-7 as we get ready to start the second quarter. West Virginia and Texas. So much jockeying for position to see who will land the Big 12 championship game.
As a Texan myself, Joe, I'm really loving our music in and out of breaks right now. I mean, just a nice calming strum. Just really, really, really well done.
34-yard attempt by Cameron Dicker. Will break the tie. Week 9 Monday Night Football. We got Cam and the Pats at MetLife to take on Sam Darnold and the Jets. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. And of course, the coverage always begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Gotta wonder if Levy, Grease, and Lou, they just stayed at their hotel there in Jersey, knowing they had Giants last week. You know, just make yourself at home in the Apple this week, I would imagine. What do you think?
If there's good food, I would.
Well, you know, in that 3-state metropolis, we have some remarkably good eats. Maybe not quite as good as what we have here in Austin, but solid nonetheless.
10-7 Texas. Texas is 1-4 all-time at home against West Virginia. The lone win came in 2014. Well, moments ago, Holly went into great detail on Joseph Osai. And of course, he did add a tackle for loss. Last week, he had the game-winning sack on Spencer Sanders at Oklahoma in overtime. One of the best defensive players in the country. You know, I mentioned to you the other day, when we sit back and we watch film all week, our eyes are typically on the ball.
Right.
He is one of the few players in recent history that when I watch a game, I'm watching a defensive player.
Yeah.
He just runs like a madman nonstop everywhere he is.
Just relentless. Absolutely relentless.
Joe Tessitore, Greg McElroy, Holly Rowe with you on a beautiful day in Austin, Texas at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium, where the Longhorns are up on West Virginia 10-7. It's been a very entertaining first half so far. 3rd down and 2 for West Virginia. Jarrett Dagey, 2nd year with the Mountaineers, starting quarterback. The sick build is going to be driven back. Devondre Sweat with the big tackle for the Horns. A Texas team that is still hopeful that it can make its way to the Big 12 championship game. They started right with their offense. Bijan Robinson, the true freshman, had a 54-yard run on the first play, and then Sam Ehlinger had the touchdown pass to Eagles, the 89th of his career. Now the dangerous Deshaun Jameson back to return the Tyler Sumter punt. And he's driven back inside the 20. Sam Ehlinger, he moved into the top 10 in Big 12 history with that touchdown pass. He's up next.
This is ESPN on ABC. Brought to you in part by Samsung QLED TV, the official TV of ESPN College Football.
College football on ESPN, presented by PlayStation 5. Glad you're with us as you're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. Joe, Greg, and Holly here in Austin. Critical game for both Texas and West Virginia. On the backfield is Johnson. Roshan Johnson will get going. Let's look at the Jared keys to the game.
The big thing for West Virginia defensively, they got to stop the perimeter runs and dominate the line of scrimmage. And for Texas, they have to stay on schedule. No negative plays and be balanced, not just by running it, by throwing it as well.
2nd and 3, Johnson as he tries to surge ahead. I think they're going to mark him just short. Now, first quarter was wildly entertaining. It got started with Robinson going for 54 yards, true freshman, and then this strike to Eagles.
Yeah, they get Eagles a couple times in the red zone, 3rd down, and then the crossing route for the touchdown. West Virginia was not going to be outdone, finding Wright down the left side, and then catching it in a couple plays later with Letty Brown's touchdown run.
Ehlinger will move the chains with that run. You saw Wright had the 39-yard reception on 3rd and 10. And then Letty Brown with a 12-yard touchdown run for West Virginia before moments ago Dicker had the 34-yard field goal that broke the tie. Interestingly, the road team has won the last 4 meetings in this series. Sam Ehlinger, 4th season as the starting quarterback for Texas. You see him pointing out that pressure in the A-gap. Ehlinger will tuck and run, and Ehlinger will take it out to the 36-yard line. It was Tonkery who was there with him. Holly?
Well, guys, Sam Ehlinger has been known to use his legs. He's actually the leading rusher on this team, and we've seen him get more and more comfortable running the football here in this game. Why that's significant? He's been very banged up. Tom Herman said we kept it pretty under wraps, but headed into that Oklahoma State game, we weren't sure how much he could do with that.
Yeah, Holly, I imagine being banged up is the nature of the beast, as that was denied by Jeffrey Pooler. Jeffrey Pooler rejecting that effort from Ehlinger. But you think about his career, Greg, and how much they ask of him. A guy that has had over 12,300 yards of total offense. He's going to have his bumps and bruises.
There's no doubt. I mean, he's their workhorse. He's their short yardage back running the football. He's, of course, had to stand behind some leaky offensive lines over the course of his career, but he's playing extremely well, especially in critical down and distance throughout the 2020 season so far.
3rd down and 8 for Ehlinger. Plenty of time to take a shot downfield. He was looking for Jake Smith, but it's incomplete. Good coverage from Sean Mahone.
Just a beautiful job by Mahone closing that gap, because Smith had a step, if not one, maybe 2 or 3, but look at the angle that Mahone takes. Just goes right to that right shoulder and extends that right arm to knock the ball away. Just an outstanding pass breakup by Mahone.
Buchevsky on to punt. He had a beauty in the first quarter that was pinned at the 3-yard line. Sinkfield is the return man for the Mountaineers, and he muffs it. Ball is on the ground. There's a fight for it. Alex Sinkfield muffs it, but West Virginia is able to secure it.
Wow, very close to being catastrophic for West Virginia, but they secure it as their offense will take over down 3.
College football presented by PlayStation 5 on ABC is brought to you by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow. Ford, built Ford proud. And Cheez-It, cheesy, crunchy satisfaction.
They rededicated this beautiful stadium back in 1977 in memory of all American veterans of war. And we want to honor those veterans on our crew. Ron Borman, who served in the Navy. Weathersby, who's up here with us. Sean Weathersby, hoorah! Marine Corps veteran. And Bill Counts, who works in the mobile unit as a driver, an Air Force veteran. Ken Hartzog, who does our computer stats, an Army National Guard veteran as well, and we thank all of them for their service.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
It's on Michael Brown, senior, came to West Virginia after a JUCO stint in eastern Arizona. 10-7, Texas on top. 10th all-time meeting. West Virginia leads this series 5-4. Daggy from inside his own 5-yard line, threw it behind T.J. Simmons. Holly, what's the injury update you can share with us?
Well, guys, you saw Keandre Coburn, the defensive tackle for Texas, take a while to get off the field. They have taken him to the locker room with a heavily taped right ankle. He's being called questionable right now, but I saw him explain his injury to some of his teammates. They gave him a big hug afterwards. I don't think we'll see him again today up front.
And Holly, as we've talked about, he is such a presence on the interior of that defensive line for the Horns. 2nd and 15 to the outside, but right at the line of scrimmage is Winston Wright, as he was chased down by Chris Brown, the senior from Houston, Texas, who had his 2nd career interception a week ago.
So what, after that first series, this Texas defense started to pin their ears back. And they've had field position on their side for the most part, but man, here in an obvious passing down, this is where that pass rush for Texas loves to get home, so keep an eye on big number 46, as always, Joseph Osai.
See what Jarrett Daggy can do here. Delayed handoff, Letty Brown, as a flag is down at the 15-yard line, and Brown is there as well.
Holding. Offense, number 76. That penalty is declined. The result of the play brings up 4th down.
So the punt team will run out there. 3rd, 3 and out for that West Virginia offense. Chris Ash is the defensive coordinator for Texas, his first year with the Horns. Of course, the recent Rutgers head coach, but great success as a D-coord at Wisconsin and Arkansas and Ohio State. Watch out for Deshaun Jameson, the return man. Sumter is going to sky it, and it takes a bounce and harmlessly just past the 50. So very good field position for Sam Ehlinger and Hookup when we come back to Austin.
You're watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
ESPN College Football presented by PlayStation 5 as part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. There is Vivo 15. He's been hanging out on a beautiful day here in Austin. Ehlinger with time, downfield, wide open, but he threw it short of Brennan Eagles. Let's go to the studio to Kevin, Mark, and Booger. Unable to shake free here is Robinson. Just 2 yards there. It'll be 3rd and 8. I'm not hating on the early start out west. I'm just glad they have football out west.
No doubt. It's good to see the Pac-12's return. As far as things go in here, though, this is the second time where Texas's offense has had a really good field position. Here they are. They find themselves in a 3rd and long situation. They have to start taking advantage of when their defense gets it back to them near midfield or even beyond midfield.
Timeout used by the Longhorns. They'll be facing that 3rd and 8 when we return to Austin. Don't go anywhere.
Always be ready to seize the moment when inspiration strikes. Make the most of this opportunity during Mazda's season of inspiration. Get 0.9% APR for up to 60 months and no payments for 90 days.
At the Home Depot, we improve Black Friday.
Instead of one day of crazy, Black Friday prices start now.
And they'll be here all season.
We're changing how we do the holidays.
Bring more joy to yours.
The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Greg, I want to dig into the All-State playoff predictor, especially when it comes to what's happening beyond the obvious, beyond the Big Ten, SEC, ACC. Big 12 right now is at 2% because they're beating each other up. Texas has a lot to do with it with what they did to Oak State. Look at that bottom line, though, BYU. You see that down there, that little bottom line there? Did you see what BYU did to 21 ranked Boise last night? 51-17. Folks, watch out for BYU. Here's 3rd down and 8. As the whistles blow right away, the flags come in as Ehlinger will get a little help from his officiating friend. Kevin Hassel heads up this Big 12 crew. Stacey Harden was the guy who helped up Sam Ehlinger. Let's bring in our rules expert, John Perry. John?
Yeah, mechanically, is it a neutral zone infraction, which the college, they call it offside. If that player gets into the neutral zone, depending on where he enters, certain offensive people are protected. I think they're trying to figure out where did he enter.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense, number 56, in the neutral zone, causing an offensive player to react. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I think we're grading out John Perry pretty high today.
You know, and there's that gap. In that B gap, so they just had to determine who was protected.
The 5-yard penalty makes it a 3rd and 3.
Potentially 4-down territory, too. They went for it in a similar situation a little earlier.
3rd and 3. Ellinger pressure coming after him, and Tonkery trips him up and takes him down back at midfield. So the sack by Dylan Tonkery. Guy who had a pick 6 in that upset of K-State comes up with this.
A little twist up front as Tonkery had a defensive lineman run right in front of him, try to take 2, and Tonkery comes right around the edge and tracks down Ellinger, who was trying to escape to his left. It's a good game up front there by West Virginia's defense, and an excellent job of Tonkery finishing the play.
Buchevsky to punt. Remember, Sinkfield muffed it the last time. Could they pin him again? Yes, again. 2 for 2. Josh Thompson pins inside the 5 as the gunner. Buchevsky is having himself a day. Special teams for the Horns. So from the end zone is Dagey. Letty Brown out of the backfield.
So far, Texas has been excellent with their punt unit. I'm sure Texas fans would like to see a little less of their punt unit, but here was a punt a little earlier as Josh Thompson corralled it, and man, deja vu. Left corner. Just a beautiful job by Buchevsky, the punter, and clearly he is in tandem with Josh Thompson, the gunner, who's down now 2 inside the 3-yard line.
Not the view that Jared Dagey wants to have. 2nd and 5. Brown trying to find anything, kept the leg drive going out past the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short for West Virginia.
They got to get Letty Brown going a little bit. So far throughout the course of this game, he's averaging under 4 yards a carry. That's well off what we've come to expect from this rushing attack. It's a testament to how Texas has played up front, how disruptive they've been, but you would think things are going to get going for West Virginia's running game here sooner than later.
Another injury for Texas. We're trying to see if we can identify who that is. That's Chris Adamora. Adamora, who's very active in the first quarter earlier today. As they tend to him, let's check in with Kevin Nagandi. Well, if you're going to break out 35-0 in the second quarter, is a nice way to do it. Iowa on top of Michigan State. Indiana's up 10 on Michigan elsewhere in the Big Ten, but we've got a good one right here in the Big 12. 10-7. First drive was sensational for West Virginia. Since then, it's been the Texas defense getting it done. 3rd down and 1 now for Dagey and Letty Brown. Letty Brown will have the first down for West Virginia. And you mentioned getting him in gear is critical. This is a guy who's number 8 in the country in rushing yards per game, top 5 in total touchdowns.
And he's really what sets everything up for them. So for the passing game, they work the play action, they work the bootlegs to get Dagey outside, but it all starts with establishing the line of scrimmage offensively and getting Letty Brown in gear.
Sam James in motion. Brown is met after just getting a yard. It was David Benda, the redshirt freshman from Katy, Texas, who made the tackle. Stanford and Oregon coming up later tonight right here on ABC as the Pac-12 returns to action. Second and 9, play action, Dagey pressured and sacked. Taken down that time by Moro Ojomo.
It's a great job by Ojomo, just pushing it. You watch him working right here against that right tackle. He just pushes and walks that right tackle right back into Daegie's lap and drops him for the sack. Just really well done there on the bull rush by the defensive end.
Third and 15. Jomo came up big there. And now Daegie trying to convert on 3rd and 15. Fight for the ball, and somehow Esdale came up with it. Deshaun Jameson went up for it, and Esdale wrestled it away. What a big play, 28 yards and a West Virginia first down.
Just great effort by Esdale. I mean, it looked like that was going to be intercepted from the beginning. The ball didn't come out of Daegie's hands with the great velocity. It kind of died on him. But Esdale, I mean, going up, leaping, grabbing the rebound and stealing it away. What a huge play for West Virginia's offense.
Daegie now. Incomplete. Right, couldn't haul it in. Great play by Esdale. 3rd and 15, and he does that.
Just strong hands, man. I'm telling you, we talked about it a little earlier in the show. These West Virginia wide receivers, none are necessarily household names, but my goodness, are they well coached. They do all the little things right. It's been fun to watch them. They certainly make a lot of plays for their quarterback.
2nd and 10. You mentioned that the wide receivers are well coached. Their head coach played wide receiver. Brown was a wide receiver at Kentucky for 3 years, then transferred to UMass. Played there at Kentucky alongside his current play caller, the offensive coordinator, Jared Parker. 3rd down and 10. Able to move the chains a moment ago on 3rd and 15. Now this for Jarrett Daegie. Gonna go underneath. Sinkfield, flag is down as he just gets to the 43-yard line.
Looks like, based on where the flag is thrown, looks like roughing the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 49. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
Taquan Graham driving Daegie into the ground.
It don't matter.
Taking a couple steps after the ball was thrown.
It's definitely late. A good call by the official. And, man, just a huge penalty there for Texas.
Graham is the heart and soul of that defensive line. Remember, Coburn, who lines up next to him, walked off the field injured earlier. That's the first penalty against Texas today, but it goes for a first down. And now Esdale again is the target, and we go to Kevin again. What do you got, Kev?
Tackling optional right there in the 9 o'clock start in the Coliseum. My goodness.
USC and Arizona State back and forth they go. Daegie looked left, looks back to the center, and then is able to get it to Jennings. Allie Jennings, who had an early touchdown last week in the win over K-State.
Tight coverage again, and strong hands from Jennings. Bobbling it there and somehow securing it.
Staying with it, the concentration by Jennings.
Fantastic.
Sophomore from Richmond, Virginia.
4-down territory here, I think, if you're West Virginia. Got defense, got Texas defense on their heels for the first time since the first drive. So expect Letty Brown to get a look here, and then maybe again on 4th down.
3rd down and 3. Daegie out of the backfield, but chopped down was Letty Brown by Anthony Cook.
But that offense is staying on the field. They tried to work Letty Brown into the flat, basically just almost like an extended handoff, short play, but Texas having none of it.
4th down and 5. What do you look for here, Greg?
I want to see what kind of matchup I get with Winston Wright. He's the guy in the slot that's so difficult to account for. He'll be at the bottom of the screen. If I have a favorable matchup, this is the direction that I'm going to look. They're going to take a little extra time because of the critical down and distance.
Timeout called by West Virginia. They're facing a 4th and 5 when we return here to Austin. Boy, through all our years of broadcasting college football on ABC, one of our favorite venues, DKR Texas Memorial Stadium. This place has been rocking so many times with memorable games through the years with over 100,000, but COVID restrictions cap it at 19,000 today. But they will roar as best they can for their defense on a 4th and 5. 12-play drive for West Virginia. First 4th down attempt, 13th play of the drive coming. Simmons in motion, 4th and 5. Here's Dagey. Batted at the line of scrimmage, and he gets it himself and throws it again, so a penalty flag comes out. Throws a forward pass, rejected, catches it, throws a second forward pass. That's your 4th and 5, folks.
In the XFL, it would have been legal, but not here, not in college football.
It was Tavondre Sweat with the swat. The big 6'4", 350-pounder who's in there because Coburn left injured. Got his hand up right in the face of Dagey.
Illegal forward pass on the offense, number 2. That's a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul and carries the loss of down. It'll be Texas ball, 1st down.
Take a peek with the AT&T 5G Skycam.
You see the batted ball right there. It's tipped around a little bit. Dagey grabs it, and we got nothing else to lose. Just see if he could throw it out there. Maybe they didn't see the first throw. I don't blame him for trying. I would probably done the same thing, just out of sheer self-preservation. Good heads-up play there along the line of scrimmage from Texas. They had a guy open there that would have been a 1st down, and the big hands of the defensive line getting up and making the batted pass. Huge play there from Texas to stop the bleeding on what was a really nice drive from West Virginia.
Ellinger to Johnson. And Johnson, with 1 cut and a spin, will have it to the 45. A reminder that Kevin, Mark, and Booger will have the Capital One halftime report coming your way. They'll get you up to speed on everything going on with Arizona State and USC, the happenings in the Big Ten as well, and get you set for Stanford and Oregon tonight. Johnson, trying to make the most of it, just gets a couple yards there. The 3rd down. But the way these two offenses came out, you thought we were going to have a shootout, right? Texas came right down the field for a 75-yard drive. West Virginia came right down the field. And now Ellinger on 3rd and 4, maybe a little magic before halftime from Sam Ellinger. And then all of a sudden, in the 2nd quarter, the defenses have come to play. Had the turnover on downs moments ago, but here a chance for Texas before the half.
I love the call here. You got 2 high safeties and linebackers that are very consumed with the pass, so call quarterback draw with the guy blocking out in front. Just a really great call right there from Mike Yursich, the offensive coordinator, as he's got Texas moving, trying to steal some points before the half.
There's Mike Yursich, his first year as the offensive coordinator at Texas. Had success at Ohio State and Oklahoma State, but boy, he is literally grounded with how he came up through college football as a groundskeeper at St. Francis, Indiana, when he was working for Coach Kevin Donnelly and play calling there. 1st down for Texas. They pick up the pressure in the A-gap. Ellinger extends the play. Flag is down as he throws it away. Just over a minute and a half to play here in the first half.
Holding. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Christian Jones, his first year as the starter. That right side is a concern on that offensive line.
Yeah, and the offensive line as a whole. I mean, Samuel Cosme, I don't think he's playing his best football at the front. Now, it's different, of course. When you transition to a new offensive coordinator with new ideals and you have COVID on top of it, it's been very difficult to try to instill the physicality that this offensive staff wants, but they're coming along. I thought they had a real step in the right direction last week, and they're dealing with a tenacious front in West Virginia.
Ellinger being chased by Stills, and then Tonkery gets him again. Had a sack earlier, and now this here. Dante Stills had the initial pressure, and then Tonkery cleaned it up. Second and 21. This is Johnson, who he was looking for, and it'll be 3rd and 21 with 68 seconds remaining in this first half.
And at this point, you're thinking, hey, run the football right here. Take it down. Maybe you pop a long one, give Dicker a chance to maybe steal one.
He's got a huge leg. He's got a career 57-yarder.
Depending on, I would just run it. Maybe get 10, 15 yards. Give yourself a better chance to make a field goal.
3rd and 21. Ellinger, nice pitch and catch to Jake Smith as he settles in near the 30-yard line, well short of the line to gain. As you can see, Josh Chandler-Samito is down, and he is obviously in pain and quite upset. He's a big part of their success. You know, we talk about Cameron Dicker, the excellent place kicker for Texas. Remember, he had that extremely memorable moment in 2018, famously winning the Red River rivalry and beating Kyler Murray's OU team, but he did it also in back-to-back games against KU and K-State. So 3 times in his career he's had game winners, got a big leg, told you, career-long 57-yarder, so very reliable weapon. Last week with Dicker, as they were trying to distract him with the jumbo screen there in Oklahoma State.
Good gamesmanship, but it's a pretty good job of staying with it. It's good to see Chandler-Samito up for West Virginia after he was down on the turf for just a minute. A good job there by Sam Ellinger. Really accurate throw over the middle. Give your kicker a chance. Maybe steal some points here before the half.
Let's check in with our rules expert, John Perry.
Had injury Joe here inside 1 minute. Offense has the option to decline it and start it on the snap, which of course they will based on where we are, field position, down and distance.
Beautiful day here in Austin. It's Texas looking to add to their lead. The officials are going to,
for status of the clock,
look at this play and deal with the clock.
The thing too, if I'm West Virginia, depending on where this clock is, I would call my timeout. And maybe you spring a return, you can potentially steal 3 points of your own. So just some back and forth, little chess being played here at the end of half in regards to timeouts and trying to preserve a little clock.
So 52, decline it. if they declined it.
You know, we mentioned earlier, Greg, that you sit here and you look at what Texas has done this year, and Tom Herman said, listen, we know what happened with TCU. We know what happened with Oklahoma. This is what they're dealing with the clock. So they will see if they need to go back and add to the clock based on that. And if that 10-second rule applies with the threshold of the minute mark that John Perry described.
Yeah, 42 seconds, Joe, if it was accepted, ready for play on this fourth down, which of course would reduce the time remaining after the kick. If they declined it, 52
After further
seconds
review,
at snap.
the injury occurred outside 1 minute. Therefore, we will reset the clock to 52 seconds, and it will start on my signal.
So they went all the way back to determine that the injury was outside of 59 seconds. Therefore, no 10-second runoff applies.
The pedantic operations of the world of college football officiating.
Now they're winded here as the clock rolls. Kicker's not even on the field at this point, so clearly they're just trying to take as much time off the clock. A little surprised that West Virginia would choose not to call a timeout at this point. Like I said, you never know what happens in a return situation. Maybe you spring one and you can steal 3 points of your own. So if I were Neil Brown, I'd be burning that final and maybe have about 50 seconds remaining. A chance for my kickoff return to put me in position to steal some points.
Yeah, just Buchevsky, the holder, is out there right now as they let this play clock run down before they will use a timeout. And we'll take a quick break before Cameron Dicker will head out there to try to add to this Longhorns lead. Joe, Greg, and Holly with you. The start of an outstanding day of college football on ABC. All capped tonight with Stanford and Oregon, the return of the Pac-12. And here comes Cameron Dicker. Told you he had the 3 game winners in his career. The guy who was born in Hong Kong, spent a chunk of his childhood in Shanghai, but has become a star as a place kicker here in Austin. 48-yard attempt for Cameron Dicker. Now, West Virginia is going to call a timeout.
Yeah, trying to ice Cameron Dicker there. And that's what they use the timeout for. So it feels like we're watching college basketball here with the way the end of game scenario is kind of playing itself out. The final 30 seconds take 10 minutes. So.
Well, the officials love themselves some airtime.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about the Big 12 for a moment because, you know, we visited with Tom Herman. He said to us, hey, we know what we did early on. We dug ourselves a hole, and it's up to us to get out of it. But there is still hope for a championship for Texas as everybody is trying to get in position for that Big 12. And look at the chances, according to the playoff predictor, to win the conference. It's Oklahoma and Texas who have the best percentages. So here's the 48-yarder from Dicker as he punch knuckles the ball. Bad rotation from Cameron Dicker. Listen, we can get into it and say dismiss things. You know, we got the CFP and everybody says, you got the SEC and you got the Big Ten, you got the ACC, and you got a mess here in the Big 12.
Right.
Conference championships matter. Playing for something matters.
The funny thing to me is we are always centering our conversation around the college football playoff, to be expected, but Oklahoma State still has a chance. I mean, they only have one loss, and it's not necessarily a high likelihood, knowing that 4 of their next 5 games are on the road, at the play at Oklahoma. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I'm telling you, man, this Big 12, I know it might not feel like it because of how cannibalistic it's been, but my goodness, it's been a good league, a competitive league in so many ways this year.
Ellinger had the touchdown. Brown had the touchdown for West Virginia. We got a 10-7 game. Stay tuned for the Capital One halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
College football on ESPN presented by PlayStation 5 as you're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. A glorious day here at Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium as Sam Ellinger and the Horns are up 10-7. West Virginia came down the field 75 yards and a touchdown on their first drive, but then 6 drives since then of only 64 yards and not a point to be had. They will get the ball to start this second half. Let's look at Pacific Life game summary, Greg.
You referenced it, Joe. The starts by both these teams, you thought we were headed for a shootout at the OK Corral. 16 plays, 150 yards, couple touchdowns with the Eagles and Letty Brown scoring. But man, both defenses clamping down from that point forward, holding West Virginia to a season low in first half total yards, and Texas, of course, a season low in total points. Both defenses finding the right buttons to push after those opening surges and really playing sound both against the run and through the air.
Daggy quickly gets it out to Ryan, who spins free. Good job for 8.5 yards. Holly.
West Virginia has to get their running game going, according to head coach Neil Brown. He said, we have to do that so we can establish something long in the passing game downfield. But one of their concerns, Letty Brown is not 100%. You can actually see underneath his pants that left hamstring and groin area heavily taped. He kind of hurt that groin in the first series. He's going to try to give it a go here in the second half, but he is far from 100%.
Holly, he has 31 yards. He averages 115 a game as he will move the chains here.
Something to keep an eye on, too, if he gets into the open field, if he's maybe not moving with the same level of explosiveness as we're used to with him, but he's gutting through it. I mean, he is their heart and soul offensively, and Jarret Doege needs to take some of the pressure off that run game by finding some of those quick passing attacks. You can complement that run game by getting the ball to your hands quickly and being accurate. Let's see if they can loosen up some of the pressure that Texas has been applying defensively.
Doege on first down. Has taken down right away is Ryan by DeMarvion Overshown.
So far, Texas has done a pretty good job, with the exception of a deep ball to Winston Wright. They've done a pretty good job of keeping the ball in front of them. They cannot allow big plays. Right now, West Virginia, pretty methodical, but don't allow the ball to get thrown over your head if you're the Texas Longhorns.
2nd and 6, as coming around with that orbit motion was Wright. Fake inside to Brown, and then they swing around with Winston Wright.
And these are the compliments right here, Joe. I mean, Winston Wright, that's basically like a toss sweep. I mean, when Letty Brown is not at 100%, hey, let's get Winston Wright, an explosive slot receiver, great with the ball in his hands. Let's get him on one of those toss sweeps, an extended handoff, and get Texas running sideline to sideline with those talented and active linebackers.
Got a stoppage in play with the injury to Jawan Mitchell, the starting inside linebacker for Texas. Well, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. And we thank All-State for that.
Guys, a couple of injury updates on the Texas defense. Keandre Coburn out for the game. He's come out in street clothes in a boot on his right foot. But Chris Adamora is back out on the field, number one. He's been very active in that spur position. And that was Jawan Mitchell that just went down there recently. I'll keep you updated as we move forward.
Thank you, Holly. There is Adamora, sophomore from California. Comes in off the edge, and a completion right at the line to gain by T.J. Simmons. You know, last year he had a big game against Texas, had a 44-yard catch. He finished with 135 yards receiving. First down, West Virginia. Give that look again with Wright, but this time they'll keep it on the ground with Letty Brown. Now, last year, Greg, West Virginia struggled running the ball. This year, it is a point of emphasis.
They get to it a lot of different ways, too, with all that eye candy, eye violations. When you're a defensive coordinator like Chris Ash is for Texas, and you're watching Neil Brown's offense, it makes it look like there's so much going on, but when you really start to break down what they do, it's very simple. Not a lot of plays, not a lot of route concepts, very simple, but they're so efficient with how they attack you.
2nd and 7, easy pitch and catch, and a first down, and good stuff from Bryce Ford Wheaton. So here comes West Virginia, 18-yard reception for Ford Wheaton. In this opening drive of the second half, can they take advantage?
It's been a really nice drive. I mean, working the ball laterally and horizontally behind the line of scrimmage, and now starting to take a couple shots on those intermediate throws where they've been very effective.
Daggy pulls, keeps, and he has himself down to the 10-yard line. Jarrett Daggy with a good read as he found that seam of grass.
And a great job here reading the end man on the line of scrimmage. As he crashes, Daggy recognized, hey, I got green grass out in front. Not going to be quite the runner that Brown would be with the ball in his hands, but effective nonetheless. Getting down, don't take unnecessary contact, and another way that they're creating offensive productivity, even though they're not involving their best offensive playmaker, Letty Brown.
Native Texan quarterback, Jarrett Daggy. Now a 2nd and 3 for the Mountaineers. And here's Letty Brown behind his big tight end, Michael Laughlin. And the 3rd and a long one, maybe 2 here, as Mitchell made the tackle. Deepest penetration for West Virginia since that opening drive when they came right down the field. This is exactly the adjustment they needed offensively. Third down and 2. Daggy looking right, looking back to the center, batted, and it falls incomplete. That was Sweat again. T'Vondre Sweat in the face of Jarrett Daggy. He has really stepped up with Keandre Coburn out.
Yeah, great job too. Daggy, nothing there initially. They're wanting to work Letty Brown in the flats, but he was covered up, so he has to scan back to the middle of the field, try to find an open target. And look, big number 93, T'Vondre Sweat at 350. Not the best presence when it comes to rushing the passer, but my goodness, he's a wall going up and getting vertical yet again for another tip pass.
Casey Legg comes on. And with his leg, he ties the game. 10-10. Good drive to start the second half for the Mountaineers. We are tied up here on ABC. There's Sam Ellinger waiting to go out on the field for Texas. You can't miss those big cranes. See them all day long here. $175 million South End expansion. It started in May of 2019. They say it's going to be done by the start of the 21 season. They're going to have a new entry tower. They're going to have a Longhorn-shaped balcony, student concessions, patios. It will be spectacular. For $175 million, it should be spectacular. Those cranes, you see them anywhere you are downtown. Wonderful day for football here in Austin. That was a mess of a kickoff, and it'll bring out the yellow laundry. Reminder, Big 12 Now is on ESPN+. It is a must-have for Big 12 fans. Got women's volleyball featuring the Mountaineers Thursday at 6:30. Got all access Oklahoma State football on Thursday. You can sign up at espnplus.com/Big12 now. Molly was involved with a big moment in volleyball last night. Number 1 Texas defeating number 3 Baylor. Of course, if there is a game to broadcast, Holly will do it if she's in town. Double duties for Ms. Rowe. Here's Bijan Robinson. Remember, he opened up the game with a 54-yard run. He is 77 on the day. Add 3 to it, puts him at 80.
It was that exact same play right there, counter. So clearly the adjustment made by West Virginia's defense, and Bijan Robinson had a really beautiful start to this game, but it's been a little quiet since, much like most of the Texas offense.
2nd and 7. We'll get more work. Out to the 40. Holly.
We told you at the start of the game they are without their all-purpose yard leader, Keontae Ingram, today, but Tom Herman told us we can win with Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson. Bijan is a young guy, highly recruited, and he said, we didn't want to throw him out there to the wolves early on. They're giving him slow doses, getting him going, making sure this young player knows everything he needs to be successful.
Tucson, Arizona. Table is set to have a magnificent career. 3rd down and 5. Ellinger goes to the near side. He's got Eagles again, who shakes free. Red Eagles had that touchdown to start the day, Greg.
And a great job by Eagles there. Big body, just get big for your quarterback and then spin out knowing defender's momentum's coming right off your hip. Excellent catch and run.
Robinson keeps the balance. Ball's out. Ball is out, and it appears Joshua Moore was in the right place at the right time. Texas secures it, and it'll be a 1st down for the Horns.
Ollie just mentioned it. I mean, true freshman with a ton of talent, but the ball gets a little loose. You see that left arm kind of gets out away from the body. You got to have all those points of pressure on the football, but how about Joshua Moore? Right place at the right time as Bijan Robinson's helped at the sideline. Hope he's okay because they're going to need him to continue to establish that physical presence in the run game.
Roschon Johnson comes into the game. Play action. Ellinger, a lot of options downfield. Goes to the end zone, and high pointing it is Eagles. But it's incomplete as a die went up in coverage. Texas fans thought they had something in.
Man, this is a play the Eagles just has to finish. I mean, you have to finish that. You're 6'4", 230 pounds. You're made to go up and win contested catches. Hey, you got to give credit to the defender, but man, your big target, he's got to bring that down for you in a close contested play.
Went up, high pointed it, brought it right into the belly, but he couldn't hold on. Johnson trying to bounce it to the outside. Instead, he's taken down by Tyke Smith. Heck of a play by the sophomore from Philadelphia, who was a freshman All-America a year ago.
Heck of an open field tackle, man. I have been so impressed with this West Virginia team all day long with how they've tackled. You talk to their defensive coordinators, Jordan Leslie and Jamal Adai. They practice tackling every single day. Every day they tackle, which is why on Saturday it comes so natural. It's obvious. These guys practice at a high level, and man, they execute at a high level too.
3rd down and 11. Ellinger going to the end zone again, and he's got it. Jake Smith, hook 'em. Sean Mahone got matched up with Jake Smith. Smith got the best of it.
It's under further review.
They're going to review it. But what's on the board right now is touchdown pass number 22 of the year for Sam Ehlinger. Take a look at the knee here, Greg. Watch that goal line.
Yeah, oh, that's really close. See that right knee down? Is the ball across the plane at that moment? This will be a good look at it. Their knee down. Where's the ball?
Remember, it doesn't have to be the knee either, right, John Perry? It could be that calf, it could be the shin, anything other than the bottom of the foot, and they could rule him down, right, John?
You are absolutely correct. Remember, from this camera angle, the ball is going to appear to be pushed back into the field of play. This angle is going to appear to be further into the end zone. Clear and visual evidence? I don't think so. I would anticipate this, based on what we've seen so far, to stand as a score.
Correct, meaning you have to have clear and indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. I think it's going to stand. Now, you can have one of three things. You can have it stand, which is just you don't see anything that would lead you to go one direction or the other. It can be confirmed, meaning the video evidence confirmed what you saw on the field, or it can be overturned, and I completely agree. I just can't tell where the ball is relative to when that piece of his body goes down.
After reviewing the play, the ruling of a touchdown stands.
I think that was the correct call, and a great answer there from the Texas offense. How about the passing game now? And Sam Ehlinger finally getting going after what was a very up and down first half with his accuracy and decision making.
Second touchdown pass of the day for Sam Ehlinger on a day and when he moved into the top 10 in Big 12 history in touchdown passes. That's the 90th of his career, capping a 7-play drive. 34-yard touchdown catch by Jake Smith. Touchdown lead for Texas.
Tune in for the Samsung QLED 4K Game of the Week. Houston at Cincinnati, today at 3:30 on ABC, available in 4K.
Glad you're with us here back in Austin, Texas. Now, my man's got a cowboy boot and I believe a Croc on the other foot and a West Virginia jersey on. Now, as a native Texan, you tell me, is that blasphemy to be doing the one cowboy boot framed against a Croc on the other foot?
Well, I'm trying. He's embracing the place, which I appreciate. You know, when in Rome, you must do as the Romans do. And here in Austin and in Texas in general, we wear our boots. That's what we do.
He's got one on.
As a Texan.
He's got form-molded plastic on the other foot.
Those are quite literally opposite ends of the spectrum. He's just trying to be in balance, Joe. He just wants to be in balance. That's where he's at.
Texas, after the touchdown toss from Sam Ehlinger to Jake Smith to take the lead, moments to go, Greg.
All right, so in this last set, you have a 3-receiver look, all right, which means the backside safety is doing what we call poaching. He's responsible for the receiver that's closest to the ball on that side. And watch that safety come over and grab the receiver as he goes across, which allows Jake Smith a ton of room to work a double move where he fakes to the corner and then crosses face and gets to the wide side of the field. That's just an excellent job of recognizing coverage, knowing what you're going to get, then having an offensive play and a route concept to beat it. That's all done in the week leading up, and it was beautiful execution from Sam Ehlinger and Jake Smith.
West Virginia back to business with Sean Ryan. Yards there from Daggy.
See this little quick passing attack starting to come alive, taking some of the pressure off that run game, knowing that Bloody Brown's on 100%.
Daggy with time, downfield, and incomplete as he was looking for Ford Wheaton. Today's Aflac trivia question. I think probably got the best of you last week, Greg, but we will offer this up. Darrell K. Royal, he coached Texas from 57 to 76, one of the all-time greats. Of course, the stadium named for him. How many other Power 5 stadiums are named after a former head coach? It's a little tough, but there's some obvious ones that come to mind, but DKR. Bloody Brown, Good hole for Letty Brown as he patiently took his time and waited for things to develop. Wiss had to make the tackle after 9 yards from Letty Brown. 3rd and 1.
I expect that you're getting Letty Brown here. You have to, just given how efficient he's been these downhill runs.
Knifing into the backfield. Ball came out at the end, but sensational effort by Overshone and the group up front. They were all over Letty Brown.
It's a great job here, working inside and then Overshone working up to the top. I mean, just active at the second level. The right tackle there, obviously, John Hughes, overstepping just a little bit. A great play by the linebacker.
McGee on to punt. Jamison inside his 20. And they take him down right away. Jamison is such a dangerous return man. He's 3 return touchdowns in his career, but West Virginia's been on top of him today, trailing by a touchdown here in Austin. ESPN College Football presented by PlayStation 5 as part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. First down, Johnson. 2 yards there. All right, we asked you the Aflac trivia questions. We're here at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium, named after great coach Royal. How many other stadiums in Power 5 are named after a former coach?
I know one for sure.
Sure, what do you got?
Tuscaloosa, Bryant Denny. I got that one. There's
you
7.
played there.
All right, so it's a little off.
That helps.
Just didn't have time to think through all 65. That's a good Aflac trivia question. I like that one.
There's Johnson on 2nd and 8. And good pursuit that time, including Tony Fields. All right, here they are, Mr. McElroy. Of course, Tuscaloosa, where you won a national championship. Bobby Dodd, Snyder, Wallace Wade, Nealon, Jordan Hare, and Vaught Hemingway.
I'm so mad at myself. I played in literally 5 of those 7 stadiums. Literally 5 of those 7 over the course of my career. And didn't know the answer to that trivia question. That's awful.
This Grand Palace, home to 4 national championship teams. 3rd down and 7. Sam Ehlinger, look at the time he has. And then it's incomplete, as there was good coverage from Miller, the starting corner for West Virginia, on Wiley.
Not a good series there from Texas. Getting stopped a couple times in the run game. Then obviously good coverage there from West Virginia's defense. That's a nice answer from the Mountaineers after they've run through pretty good on the first drive of the second half.
Luchevsky on to punt. The Australian native who came here and played at Lake Travis High School. Sinkfield, the return man for the Mountaineers. As he drifts back and now ends up with a good return. Look at this. Striding past midfield is Alex Sinkfield. So the Mountaineers will have great field position trying to tie it up. West Virginia already past midfield after the very strong punt return. Sinkfield is in the backfield. He had that punt return moments ago, and now still that energy flowing through him with a run here. Holly, what's going on with Letty Brown?
Well, guys, after you saw Letty Brown fail to convert on that down play, he came to the sidelines and really showed some frustration here. He is taking this very personally that they're not getting that running game going. You could see him talking to the assistant coaches, talking to other players, very intentional about what they had to fix. Did he read the leverage right? A lot of discussion going on. He wants to be great out here. He's not 100% as we see a replacement in for him right now, but he is getting frustrated as this Longhorn defense continues to stymie him.
15 carries, 45 yards for a guy who averages over 115. Daggy on 2nd and 6. Inside receiver screen again with Sam James, and it works out well down to the 33-yard line and a first down. Let's check in with the studio. The early start out there at USC, and then, of course, the late night game with Kirk and Chris. Stanford, Oregon tonight on ABC as the Pac-12 is back to business. Isaiah Esdale with the catch there for West Virginia. 6 yards on that catch by Esdale. 2nd and 4. Quickly swinging it to James, and James tries to dart ahead for that line to gain.
We'll have it. It's a good effort there from James.
Talked about Oregon and Stanford tonight, just to refresh everybody on the storylines we've been dealing with in the Pac-12.
Yeah, and of course, SC and Oregon both ranked in the top 20. Oregon, a really good team coming back. A lot of really good pieces returning on a Rose Bowl champion team a year ago. And of course, it's 7-game format. They got to thread the needle. So tough with all the restrictions in place.
Daggy, he's in a rhythm now as he goes to Jennings, and Jennings will make it 1st and goal, West Virginia. This is a well-managed drive by the Mountaineers and Jarrett Daggy.
It's been so good watching this West Virginia offense here in the second half. Granted, they got stopped behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd and short on the last drive, but they've been very efficient, staying in manageable down and distance, getting the ball out of Jarrett Daggy's hands really quickly, and mixing in some run and some perimeter throws that act as run. So it's been a good adjustment by the Mountaineers here in the second half offensively.
Daggy, redshirt junior quarterback from Lubbock, Texas, and now the pride of West Virginia. 1st and goal as he tries to just escape that rush. Goes ahead for a yard. That was a Jomo who was tracking him. A sophomore from Katy, Texas. Neil Brown, year number 2 for West Virginia. Last year, 5-7. Of course, had all the success as the head coach at Troy.
Interestingly enough, Neil Brown calls the plays everywhere on the field except the red zone. So Jared Parker, the offensive coordinator, takes over in this part of the field. He's done a good job up to this point, trying to make the most of those opportunities in the red area.
Daggy on 2nd and goal. To the end zone. Did he get it? Yes! Touchdown, Mountaineers. Winston Wright staying with it.
Initially bobbled. Oh, does he secure it? It's so close. It's good concentration after not having it at first. It looks like that right leg is down in the back of the end zone. Rest assured, of course, they're going to be looking at this one from every angle.
Does he have firm control?
The ruling of a touchdown is under further review.
And when does he secure the catch? That's obviously first and foremost.
Do you think the elbow's out?
All right, obviously not secured there. Secured there. Oh,
I think it's incomplete.
Does that ball or that nose of the football hit the ground as he's going to the ground?
Well, let's hear from our 3-time Super Bowl official, John Perry. John?
You know, does the ball move as he's attempting to secure it on the end line with the elbow potentially in the white? This is really, really tight.
Ball is obviously moving all through there. It's just a matter, is it secured? It can touch the ground, but it must be secured. And
watch the nose of the ball here. John, how would you adjudicate based on that right there?
I'm going incomplete. Doesn't have possession until the very end, and the nose of that ball is hitting the turf prior to him having complete control. Incomplete pass.
Ruling on the field was a completed pass and a touchdown.
Obviously, every ruling, it has to be indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. But I'm with John. I think that ball is moving. It looks like that right elbow hits in the white, which would obviously be the end line in the end zone. So I think that ball is moving, and I agree with him. I do think this is going to be incomplete. Tough call, though. Really close.
After reviewing the play, the ball hit the ground prior to the receiver gaining possession. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 8-yard line.
Taken off the board. Incomplete.
See the ball. That's it. I mean, as soon as the elbow's down, the ball is still moving. And it looks as though the ground helps him secure it. So a missed opportunity there. After a great play call, a beautiful throw, just Winston Wright not able to reel it in there in the back of the end zone.
Yeah. So now it's 3rd and goal. Singfield motions out, bottom of your screen. Daggy, empty set, 3rd and goal. Looking to tie the game. Oh, they get him! DeMarvion Overshown comes in like a missile.
This is the left side of the offensive line. They're blocking these two, and as a result, Overshown just shoots right through the left side A gap. The true freshman, Zach Frazier at left guard, doesn't adjust too late. And the agile and athletic Overshown drops Daggy in the backfield for the sack.
Casey Lay. 34-yard field goal. We've got a fun one here in Austin, don't we, folks? Big play, the sack by DeMarvion Overshown on 3rd and goal for Texas, so West Virginia had to settle for the field goal. Jamison from the 4-yard line. Taken down at the 25. Let's go to the studio and Kevin. Penix Jr. has 342 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game. You know, Overshown had a moment with Joseph Asai, the All-American linebacker for Texas, where Asai was struggling. He said late in the game, he turned and Overshown said, "What's your why? Why do you do it?" And now Robinson saying his why is to turn on the Jets a little bit.
It's just cool.
It was a great story that he told.
Yeah, it's so cool to just, I mean, hey, when you need a guy sometimes to pack your parachute. That's what we used to always say, pack each other's parachutes. So when Asai was really tired, worn out at the end of the game, that little pickup from his linebacker made all the difference.
4s are up. We're headed to the 4th quarter. Texas leading 17-13 over West Virginia. Should be a good finish here. Getting ready to start the 4th quarter here. The college football rankings are brought to you by Chick-fil-A. And of course, Greg, there's a big one tonight. What's going to happen in Clemson, Notre Dame?
I'm telling you, man, it is going to be really fun to watch. Of course, DJ Uiagalelei, the true freshman quarterback for Clemson, going on the road to Notre Dame team that's so good on the defense side of the football.
Epps will have the first down for the Horns.
It is a matchup of good versus good. Notre Dame wanting to run the football, shrink the game. And then conversely, of course, Georgia and Florida, also 2 teams ranked in the top 10, teeing it up here in just a little bit. So a great afternoon of football upon us.
Quickly gets it over to Money. Ball came loose there. Was that a backwards pass? West Virginia football. They went with the triple option, and Alonzo Adai came away with the ball.
Are you working or backward pass. The ruling on the field is a backward pass that was recovered by the defense. First down, West Virginia.
And you see right here, here's the line of scrimmage. And that ball, clearly from where he's at, it looks like it's traveling backwards. What a huge play. It's triple option.
The ruling of a backward pass on the previous play is under further review.
They're going to review this, and this is a really big play. The play is officially under review as it stands. It's the first turnover of the game, and it's for West Virginia.
The huge moment here as the call on the field is overturned. And here, if you look at Ellinger as he releases the ball, the line to gain is really right here. All right, so where does the ball...
It's almost like it's a visual trick.
It is.
So that is not a backward pass. It is not West Virginia's ball, as you can see. It is second down with Robinson running it. Let's bring in our rules expert, John Perry. John, clean it up for everybody.
Yeah, really unusual play. Statistically, these are all forward. Mechanically, the official at the bottom of the screen plays forward or backward pass. Is the replay official convinced without any doubt that this is a forward pass? I'm not sure about that, but in my gut, based on what I saw, I do like it as incomplete.
It's really tough. I mean, it does look as though the ball's coming out right at the 37-yard line, and Money tries to catch it at the 37-yard line.
3rd and 6. A wobbler that time, looking for Schooler. Listen, on first glance, watching in real time, I said it in the play-by-play. It looks like a backward pass.
Is an incomplete pass.
Ruling on the field was that it was a recovery by West Virginia. But when you see it right down the line and you see the body momentum, don't look at the bodies. Just because Money was behind trailing the play, just look at the ball. Where the ball's released compared to where the ball goes to by the time Money gets after it. And thus they overturn it because of that. Bottom line is the West Virginia defense did their job now. And Buchevsky will be punting away for Texas. Sinkfield had a good return earlier in this half.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Score was 10-7 Texas at the half. And the last time West Virginia won a Big 12 game after trailing at the half was here on the road at Texas. They're 0-7 since they come after Buchevsky. And it'll go out of bounds. Under 14 minutes to play, West Virginia trailing by 4 with the ball here in Austin. Don't go anywhere.
College football on ABC is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits. And in part by Pacific Life, more than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow.
I love this time of the year when we take time to honor our nation's veterans past and present. We've got 4 of them on this crew. Ron, Sean, Bill, and Chan. Weathersby's up here in the booth with us. Hoorah, he says, Marine Corps veteran, proudly serving. Joe, Greg, and Holly with you here. West Virginia trailing by 4. Letty Brown, who's been their star running back, only 45 yards today against this Texas defense. Quickly over to Ford Wheaton. Bryce Ford Wheaton get it out to the 30-yard line.
So far, West Virginia here in the second half has done a pretty good job of stretching Texas's defense sideline to sideline with some of the throws like that. And anytime you can get 5-6 yards, they're used to getting it through Letty Brown, but with him not being 100%, you got to find other ways. They've been really creative with that so far.
2nd and 4, Dagey, and he gets Simmons. Flag is down as Simmons makes his way past midfield. It's all the way back at the 20-yard line where Dagey went down.
They're going to tack on some yardage here after the quarterback is hit below the waist.
Personal foul roughing the passer. Low hit to the quarterback, number 98 of the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
That's tagged on Moro Jomo, the defensive end for Texas.
And if you look at it, I mean, was kind of blocked into it, but clearly as Daegie's in the passing posture, I mean, he's protected. He's a defenseless player. So you can't hit him towards the head or neck, and you can't hit him below the knees. That's the Tom Brady rule from a million years ago, trying to protect quarterbacks as they are in a very vulnerable position. So a bad play there from Texas's defense, and here West Virginia is yet again knocking on the door.
Daegie on first down. Quickly goes to Bryce Ford Wheaton. 6 yards there. Daegie's thrown for over 250 yards today.
This right here, this look defensively, I mean, there's two high safeties. This is a spot where you'd maybe like to potentially look at a run, but now that they're starting to spin down, look through the air.
2nd 4 to the other side. Right, that line to gain, but trying to fight back to it was Sam James. Or Sean Ryan, excuse me, with the catch there. There's Joseph Osai. Probably haven't called his name as much as we're used to this year.
Here, West Virginia bringing in their big personnel. 12 personnel, 2 tight ends on the field as TJ Banks and Mike O'Loughlin come in. They're going to go with an overload set. Both those tight ends on the left-hand side.
3rd and 1, he bobbled the shotgun snap to the end zone. He goes, and it falls incomplete as he was looking for Ryan, but Jalen Green had coverage.
Man, unfortunate circumstances there for West Virginia. 3rd and short, bad snap, leads Daegie to throw it away, or at least try to give his receiver a chance, but it looks like they're keeping that offense on the field. You see, bad snap, supposed to be a handoff to the right to Letty Brown, but a pretty heads-up play there by Daegie. Don't make a bad play worse to see if you can give a receiver a chance.
4th down and 1. Ball on the Texas 16. They had 1 4th down attempt earlier, and they will utilize a timeout. Big moment coming up after this break for West Virginia. 4th and 1. Pacific Life game summary is we have a big spot in front of us here. 17-13 Texas as it stands right now. Ellinger a couple of touchdown passes. Overshone had a big sack. And West Virginia's just not running the ball the way they have. But Greg, that's because Texas has been selling out to stop the run. So what do you expect here on 4th and 1 for West Virginia?
If I were them, I'd get Seth Daegie moving. I'd fake a little inside zone to the right, and I'd roll Seth Daegie to the left with a tight end underneath. I'd go with a little bootleg action because of how much Texas has sold out against the run.
Here we go, 4th and 1. Daegie, gotta have it to the end zone. Incomplete. He wanted O'Loughlin for the touchdown, but instead it's a turnover on downs. Texas takes over.
That's the boot action I was talking about. Just get your quarterback moving because of how much Texas has been committed the entire day to the run. B.J. Foster there, the safety, nearly breaking it up. Daegie just a little bit late on the throw. He had O'Loughlin in the back corner of the end zone. If he throws it just a little bit further and a little bit earlier, the Mountaineers likely have the lead. I like the play call, the execution just not there between quarterback and tight end.
And now Robinson with the run. B.J. Foster, the safety for Texas. Last year he had an interception in the 3rd quarter against West Virginia and led to a Texas touchdown. Now this year he comes up big again against the Mountaineers. Roshan Johnson in at running back alongside Sam Ehlinger here on 2nd and 7 after the turnover on downs. Johnson looking for something, and he'll be stacked up at the 23-yard line.
Guys, some tough injury news right now for Texas. Their best wide receiver, Joshua Moore, is questionable to return to this game. He's out with a shoulder, or they're saying a shoulder injury, I believe. He is questionable to return. That is a big blow for them. He has been their most reliable target with 22 catches this year.
Now, then here in a 3rd and short situation, they've looked in the direction of the Eagles. Let's see if they look his way again. He's at the top of the screen.
3rd down and 3. Ehlinger's going to run it himself and get it and more. Sam Ehlinger out to the 35-yard line. The 2-time captain, 4th year as a starter, with all the stats that keep building and building.
That's their bread and butter. I mean, Texas forever. They've now transitioned to more of a perimeter run team, but right there, the downhill rushing attack by Sam Ehlinger, still a big part of their offense.
He pumps left, looks right, goes downfield. And I don't think Eagles had a sense of it that time as he was locked up with Nick Troy Fortune.
Yeah, I think the sun. I mean, if you look, the way that sun is coming in, and you look at the shadows of the players, I mean, look at the shadows and look where the ball lands. I mean, he's looking up, where is it, where is it? You can see that ball likely coming in, and him not being able to locate it as you see it way up there in the western sky. So an unfortunate opportunity there missed by Eagles, because he did have one-on-one.
Exactly in line with that angle of the sun. 2nd and 10. Ehlinger, tons of time, open downfield, but unable to secure it is Brendan Schooler, the well-traveled Schooler, who started his career as a defensive back at Oregon, then moved to a wide receiver there, then transferred to Arizona, and then because of the COVID Pac-12 postponement, came here to Texas.
Man, I'm so impressed with West Virginia's defensive backs. That one, obviously, a great job there in the secondary. They never give up on the play. I mean, they always play all the way through the whistle, and they dislodge so many passes that appear to be sure completions. Man, they just attack the ball.
3rd down and 10. Ehlinger. Incomplete. He wanted Tariq Black.
You wonder, it's a beautiful throw by Ehlinger. But yet again, similar spot to the play just a minute ago from Eagles. Did that ball sneak up on Tariq Black because he doesn't locate it until the very end? 3 times now throwing in that direction where your receiver's looking back in the sun. You got to make that adjustment. If you're going to work downfield, maybe work in a direction in which they're not staring right into that part of the field.
It's the best defense for West Virginia right now. Here's Sinkfield on the return as he dances his way past the 30. From that side on down, right in the receiver's face. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Poor Kevin having to read that with his beloved Temple Owls on the short end there.
Back to action here, Daggy. Well out of bounds that time in the direction of Ford Wheaton. So just over 9 minutes to play. West Virginia trailing by 4.
A lot of the reason why West Virginia has had some more success moving the ball. Now, not necessarily generating points, but moving the ball. They've been able to get the ball out of Daggy's hands. They've been able to spread the field horizontally. They need to continue to do that, but at some point they got to remind the Texas defense this is a very capable run game with Sinkfield in the backfield.
He motions to the near side, 2nd and 10. Daggy on a cross, Simmons. He's already past midfield and adding to it. TJ Simmons, who started his career at Alabama, transferred to West Virginia in the summer of 17. veteran of this receiver group.
Very nice throw there from Daggy. Very solid on a lot of those middle of the field throws, and has been very accurate on some of the throws outside the numbers as well. He just hasn't had many opportunities to take the top off the defense with how Texas is playing pretty soft in the secondary.
Gets it quickly out to Ford Wheaton, and here come the Mountaineers. Daggy has found a very nice rhythm, hasn't he? He goes for 12 yards there.
Just gets the ball out of his hands so quickly. I mean, regardless of how good Joseph Osai and this Texas pass rush can be, if he's getting rid of the ball in under 2 seconds, there's nothing you can do. He clearly has a good understanding of what Texas is bringing, where the voids are that time in the zone pressure. With pressure off the right, he just throws it to the soft coverage to the left for another first down. Just a great understanding of pre-snap recognition and how to take advantage of where they're weak.
There was some movement up front.
False start. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And just consider the path of Daggy. He's from Lubbock, Texas. His father was a high school head coach. He had his own little shoulder pads and would be out there during warm-ups. And he grew up a Texas Tech fan. His older brother Seth was the quarterback there.
It's funny because he reminds me of those Texas Tech quarterbacks. He reminds me of B.J. Simmons. Like, if you remember B.J. Simmons, he lit the world on fire in the early 2000s with Mike Leach. And, man, he just could drop the ball into any spot of the field and just take advantage of timing. It's kind of who Daggy is as well.
1st and 15, Sinkfield. Just try to work it back inside the 30. And then, so his parents went to Texas Tech. His older brother Seth was a star there, but he wasn't recruited by Tech. He said, I always rooted against Texas. My dad, he said this to us. He said, my dad hates Texas. He's a Lubbock kid. Greg, you grew up a Horns fan.
I did.
You were not recruited by the Horns, which had that chip on your shoulder and went on to win the national championship for Bama against a certain team. To the 20-yard line as he gets it to Esdale, who's been a tough-looking receiver today. He has fought for a lot.
This is an interesting down and distance. The play caller and head coach Neil Brown, probably 2 downs to get it. You just went for it, similar circumstance on 4th and short from a very similar part of the field. You don't have to throw it here. You can hand it off knowing that any positive play is likely going to lead to you going for it again on 4th and 2 or 4th and 1.
3rd down and 3. Here comes pressure with Osai. Off the edge, right in his face, but it's complete, and spinning ahead to that line to gain is Esdale. Big play by Daggy and Esdale.
And it was covered up well, too, but Esdale just coming back to his quarterback and securing the catch, and a good throw by Daggy away from the inside defender on Esdale's left pec to kind of throw him open in what was a very tight window.
Letty Brown back in as they come out of the slant formation. That's a backward pass. And he's going to turn the corner with it as they just swing it to Letty Brown, and Mitchell had to track him down.
Looked like to me, Tess, that was going to be a double pass, and they covered it perfectly. Texas was in man coverage that time, and they tried to release Seth Ryan down the left sideline. And oftentimes you see a running back when a double pass is on. If a double pass gets called, it's getting thrown. That time, Letty Brown, cooler heads prevailing, not throwing it into tight coverage, knowing that he's not probably the most accurate guy in the world, and just trying to make positive plays. That's a good, smart decision there by Letty Brown.
8th play of this drive after they just converted their first 3rd down of this second half. And now a timeout will be used by West Virginia. 5.5 minutes to play, trailing by 4 against the number 22 team in the country. We got an exciting finish ahead. Don't go anywhere. West Virginia has had success here at DKR Memorial through the years. Among the teams that have played at least 5 games, the only FBS team with a winning record at Texas. They're 4-1 here in Austin. And here they are trailing by 4, but moving the ball well all of a sudden. Daggy, 2nd and 8. Plenty of time. But everybody seemingly covered. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Big down here, obviously, for the West Virginia offense. Found some pockets of success in this part of the field. It hasn't been very efficient, but in this part of the field, I'm going to look towards number 16, Winston Wright. If I can get an opportunity in one-on-one to get him the ball in space, he's my guy. He's lined up here at the bottom of the screen.
3rd down and 8. Daggy, top of the screen, but met right away that time was Letty Brown, the running back, who was split out. It was Josh Thompson who was there defensively. So here we go. That was a 3rd and 8. They got 7 yards. It's a 4th and 1 inside the 10. Under 5 minutes to play. West Virginia trying to take the lead on Texas.
Late substitution. Bring their tight end O'Laughlin in. But Neil Brown's going to have to take another timeout. It's a good spend there, too. Obviously, you'd love to have your timeouts at the end of the game, but this critical down and distance with how well Texas's defense has been playing in this part of the field, you don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get down in this part of the field. So I think a good and a wise job of spending it there, even though those timeouts are expensive, especially at the end of the game.
They're talking over a 4th and 1. Critical juncture for the Mountaineers.
Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack. Delicious nachos topped with all your favorites. Only at Taco Bell.
So remember, they were in a 4th down spot earlier. They're 0 for on 4th down in this game. 0 for 2. They went to the end zone to O'Laughlin the last time they had a 4th down. Sean Jamison trying to hype up the 19,000 in the midst of these COVID restrictions that are here in this cavernous DKR Memorial. 4th and 1, 4:48 to play. Letty Brown is the running back for West Virginia. Daggy has found a rhythm, but will they give the ball to Brown here? 4th and 1. He pulls it to the end zone, incomplete. He tried to hit Jennings. He pulled it from Brown and tried to connect with Jennings. Chris Brown was there defensively.
I love the play call from the offensive coordinator, Jared Parker. Texas in a critical down and distance, they go all out pressure. That's what they do. Right there, no difference. You have one-on-one with Jennings going up against Chris Brown, and Neil Brown irate, and I don't blame him. There was a lot of contact there in the back end, and had a flag been thrown, I would have agreed with it. I know it's a critical down distance. You want to let the kids play. They've been letting them get away with an awful lot in the secondary all game long. But that one right there by Chris Brown, very lucky to walk off the field with no flag thrown.
And now the true freshman Robinson will get some work here, you know it. West Virginia doesn't have any timeouts left. And they'll get a hefty dose of Bijan Robinson, who opened up the game with a 54-yard run.
And if you look at it, I mean, right here, I mean, there's contact there. I mean, he's all over him. I know, I like when the guys play too, but that's too much contact to get away with. And Chris Brown is basically trying to tackle the guy. He doesn't have a chance to get to the football. Flag should have been thrown.
Boy, there are 3 plays in the second half that West Virginia fans are going to be talking about for a while. The touchdown that was reversed, the backwards pass that was reversed, and then that. 2nd and 6, Ellinger can't find much against that West Virginia defensive front. That was Pooler with the tackle. Clock will continue to bleed.
Right here, the big question is, do you choose to throw it or do you choose to run it? And if I'm the offensive coordinator, Mike Yurcich, I know time is of the essence. Man, I'm throwing it with my senior quarterback. I trust him to be accurate with the football, knowing he's probably going to be working against some tight man coverage.
3rd down and 5. Using every second of that clock. Ellinger and get the first down. All right, let's talk about the 3 plays that I mentioned with West Virginia fans that are probably going nuts, Greg, because this is what happened in the second half. They thought they had this, but they didn't. It was called a touchdown in the field. They thought they had this, a recovery of the backward pass, but they didn't. And then moments ago.
And obviously there, the should have been pass interference by Chris Brown in the back end. Just far too much contact, even in a critical gotta have it situation. I mean, if I'm West Virginia fans, I am not happy with how things have gone. I agree with the first 2 calls, but the third one, that one I'm having a tough time understanding.
Robinson spins free from the would-be tackler. How he took a tackle for loss and turned it into gains beyond me. Let's go to Kevin in the studio. Let me tell you something, Greg. Hugh Free's going to get himself a job, a big job. Now, I know he loves the one he has as he's been able to rebuild this stage of his career. But what he is doing there is going to get the attention of everybody in the big Power 5 conferences. And you know what he was prior to leaving Ole Miss. UFC Fight Night tonight in Vegas. Thiago Santos, top-ranked light heavyweight contender, takes on Teixeira, number 3 contender. Prelims are going to start at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. Main card, 10 Eastern on ESPN2 and Plus. Of course, to get ESPN Plus, you can go to ESPNplus.com or download the app. And Holly, if Texas has to punt, if West Virginia defense can do their job, there is a unique situation there.
Right, developing situation as we saw Ryan Buchesky, who's been a weapon all day punting for Texas, limp off the field. Their backup punter is the kicker, Cameron Dicker. He's been over here trying to catch passes like a snap, get ready to punt. He would have to be called into action if they're unable to convert right here. That could be bring up problems.
We'll see if it gets to that point. Here's Robinson out of the backfield and getting a big chunk play for the Horns and a first down. And they will put this thing away in style.
It's just a great job. Right here, you're getting pressure. And what do? You just swing your back out. Because West Virginia's selling out against the run. They got to make a play. Well, it's a great call by Mike Yurcich, the offensive coordinator, acknowledging that they are obviously going to sell out completely against the run. Let's get Robinson in space and put this game on ice. That's just great trust of your senior quarterback to get the ball out on time and get a ball completed so that the clock doesn't stop.
A bookend day for Bijan Robinson, right? First play of the game, he goes for 54 yards. And then that play, he goes for 35 yards where they can take a knee and secure a very solid win. A reminder, ABC tonight, it is the return of the Pac-12 with a team that could do some serious business. Stanford is at number 12 Oregon up at Autzen Stadium. A rivalry that goes back to 1900. That's 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on ABC. Well, remember how we started this broadcast discussing what Texas coach Tom Herman said, that we know we dug ourselves in a hole early this season, but we have cleared a path to get out of it, and that motivates us. They got the big win against number 6 Oak State on the road, and they get this here today.
Huge win for this Texas program, and taking advantage of some opportunities. And if I'm West Virginia, still so much to play for, but you have to be disappointed with how this thing unfolded. Everything that was kind of a 50-50 toss-up, seemed to go against them. But both these teams put out great effort, and Texas keeps their hopes alive of a championship run.
They're 5-2, 4-2 in conference. For Holly and Greg, I'm Joe Tessitore, telling you to enjoy the rest of your day. Houston-Cincinnati is coming up after this message and a word from our ABC station.